everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be reacting to very popular classics and contemporary fiction. I have 8 books, I think. I tried to find another 2, but I got lazy, so we only have 8 for this one. I did another video previously just on fantasy books, and I had 11 books in that one, and I picked some pretty popular ones, so if you haven't seen that one, definitely check it out. And without further ado, let's jump into this one. So the first book I am going to be reading a paragraph from is The Godfather by Mario Puzo. My Italian accent is terrible, as you can tell. And let's jump in. Amerigo Buonasera sat in New York Criminal Court number 3 and waited for justice. Vengeance on the men who had so cruelly hurt his daughter, who had tried to dishonor her. Love it. I really like it. I quite like the whole, fighting for honor as a trope. Obviously, this is like a family drama essentially set in the kind of context of gangs. And I have seen the film, but I have to say the beginning of the book is more intriguing than the beginning of the film. So that's a pretty high bar, I would say. I think Mario Puzo has set a pretty decent bar for the next books. Also, I apologise to any Italians that I might have offended with my terrible Italian accent. Sorry. All right, the next book we're going to do is The Outsider by Albert Camus. Here we go. My mother died today, or maybe yesterday. I don't know. I received a telegram from the old people's home. Mother deceased. Funeral tomorrow. Very sincerely yours. That doesn't mean anything. It might have been yesterday. Oh, I love that. That definitely beats The Godfather. It feels very solemn. I have a feeling this is quite a dark book. I know Camus is a pretty dark writer. I think he writes a lot about like existentialism from what I understand. So I'm really excited to read this one. And I have to say, I actually might try and pick this one up this year because that's already had me really intrigued. Next up, we have My Brilliant Friend by Elena Ferrante. Sorry again to any Italian viewers. There seems to be quite a few Italian authors on here. All right, well, this is the first paragraph of the prologue, I believe. This morning, Reno telephoned. I thought he wanted money again and I was ready to say no, but that was not the reason for the phone call. His mother was gone. There seems to be a common theme about family. First we had a sister, then we had a mother, then we have another mother. Interesting. I think this is going to go third because I'm intrigued, but I'm not super intrigued. Like, I'm curious as to who this friend is and, are they still good friends is my number one question at the moment. But yeah, let's move on to the next one. Next up, we have Blood Meridian by Cormac McCarthy. I've been attempting to read this book for so long now, and it's honestly just ridiculous. I really want to read it. It's just a matter of when. I have to be in a very specific mood to read McCarthy, so I'm just waiting for that mood to strike. So let's read the first paragraph. See the child. He's pale and thin. He wears a thin and ragged linen shirt. He stokes the scullery fire. Outside lie dark, turned fields with rags of snow and darker woods beyond that harbour a few last wolves. His folk are known for hewers of wood and drawers of water, but in truth his father had been a schoolmaster. He lies in drink, he quotes from poets whose names are now lost. The boy crouches by the fire and watches him. Oh, I do like the sound of that. Very atmospheric. I think McCarthy's a very atmospheric writer, and I think this is going to go second because I'm very intrigued and I like the vibe of it so far. All right, we have 4 books left. The next book is Lonesome Dove by Larry McMurtry. I bought this book so many years ago, and I'm actually hoping to read it next year because I'm planning to read like one big epic every year. This year it was Musashi by Eiji Yoshikawa, and next year it's going to be Lonesome Dove by Larry McMurtry. So let's read the first paragraph. When Augustus came out on the porch, the blue pigs were eating a rattlesnake. Not a very big one. It had probably just been crawling around looking for shade when it ran into the pigs. They were having a fine tug of war with it, and its rattling days were over. The sow had it by the neck, and the shoat had the tail. Oh, I love that. That's got to be first. That's got to be first. Because I have a feeling that there is some foreshadowing going on there. And yeah, I love it. I love it. Next up, we have Norwegian Wood by one of, if not the most famous Japanese writer to have ever written, and that is by Haruki Murakami. I was 37 then, strapped in my seat as the huge 747 plunged through dense cloud cover on approach to Hamburg airport. Cold November rains drenched the earth, lending everything the gloomy air of a Flemish landscape. The ground crew in waterproofs, a flag atop a squat airport building, a BMW billboard. I wouldn't say it's boring, maybe that's a bit harsh. I wouldn't say it's particularly engaging either, but I'm curious as to why this person is going back to Germany again. And like, do they live there, or are they visiting there again? Do they have family there? These questions are popping into my head, but I wouldn't say it's sucking me in necessarily. So I'm going to put this one at the bottom. And we have two more left. The next one we have is classic, Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. I know it's a crime that I haven't read this book. I don't need anybody to tell me. I know it's terrible. I will read it at some point. So I'm actually going to just read chapter 1, not the letters. All right. I am by birth a Genovese, and my family is one of the most distinguished of that republic. My ancestors had been for many years councillors and syndics, and my father had filled several public situations with honour and reputation. He was respected by all who knew him for his integrity and indefatigable attention to public business. He passed his younger days perpetually occupied by the affairs of his country. A variety of circumstances had prevented him marrying early, nor was it until the decline of life that he became a husband and the father of a family. I'm actually very intrigued, because why does this start with the father? Why does what's going on there? I think this is going to go second. I think this is going to go second after Lonesome Dove. So, not bad, Mary Shelley. Maybe I'll prioritise this actually this year because it's quite a short book. So let's get on to the last one. And we have The Once and Future King by T.H. White. This is meant to be like one of the goats when it comes to like Arthurian literature, which I love. I'm not going to read the whole first paragraph because it's quite long, but I'll read kind of halfway through the paragraph. On Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, it was court, hand and sumile logicalis, while the rest of the week it was the organon, repetition and astrology. The governess was always getting muddled with her astrolabe, and when she got specially muddled, she would take it out of the wart by rapping his knuckles. She did not rap Kay's knuckles, because when Kay grew older he would be Sir Kay, the master of the estate. The wart was called the wart because it was more or less rhymed with art, which was short for his real name. Kay had given him the nickname. Kay was not called anything but Kay, as he was too dignified to have a nickname and would have flown into a passion if anybody had tried to give him one. I'm going to stop there. That sounds quite interesting. No idea who Wart or Kay are in the context of Arthurian legend, but I'm curious, and I quite like the writing style already. Like, it seems quite accessible. And even though this is actually a very chunky book, it's like 800 pages, I think this is actually one that you could probably read through quite quickly. But again, I'm basing that on like 5 sentences, so I could be wrong. So I quite like that. I wouldn't say it's my favourite. I would say it's probably below The Godfather, because I'm intrigued, but I'm not as intrigued by what's happening in The Godfather. I like the writing style though. I think that really does shine. So yeah, let's put it after The Godfather. All right, so that means we have our 8 ranked and ready to go. I'm somewhat surprised by the order of this one. I'm less surprised with the order of this list compared to the fantasy one, but let's go through them. So in last place, we have Norwegian Wood by Haruki Murakami. It's pretty boring. I wouldn't say it was the most engaging introduction. Like, first couple of lines, I don't think I'll remember it, and I definitely want to read it at some point, but I wouldn't say it's reading it now would make me want to pick it up anytime soon. Then we have My Brilliant Friend by Elena Ferrante, similar to that as well. I'm curious about her friend and kind of what's happened in her relationship with her friend. Like, are they still friends or are they estranged? Like, what's going on there? But again, it's not like urging me to pick it up now. Then we have The Once and Future King by T.H. White. Quite liked it. Doesn't really tell you anything about the story though, or really the vibe, but I quite like the writing style. Then we have The Godfather by Mario Puzo, and I quite liked it. I mean, like I said, I've watched the film, so I kind of know what to expect, but it was engaging enough and quite memorable. Then we have Blood Meridian by Cormac McCarthy. Very dry, very kind of solemn tone, which is what I would always associate with McCarthy. I do quite like it, and it has made me want to pick it up sooner rather than later. Then we have The Outsider by Albert Camus. I really liked it. Like, I quite like the vibe that I'm already getting off it. I know his work's very philosophical, and you can already get that sense from the first like 2-3 sentences. Then in second place we have Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. Really intrigued. Like, I actually really want to pick this up sooner rather than later, and I'm going to try and get to it this year. I really do like the vibe. I might actually try and get the audiobook and kind of sometimes listen to it, sometimes reading it, depending on my mood. And then in first place, I'm not actually surprised by this one, we have Lonesome Dove by Larry McMurtry. I love a good Western. I've said this many times. I've reviewed a few Westerns on my channel now, and I just really like the vibe that I'm getting from it. And I like the fact that we're getting a lot of symbolism already, literally in the first couple of sentences. So can't wait to read that one next year. I'm curious how your kind of ranking stacks up to mine. And yeah, I'll probably do some more of these because I actually quite like doing this type of video. It's quite fun. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one, folks. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Every little helps, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. Bye.